from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niket Karunaratne.
A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
A kilo of chicken meat for 1,250 rupees. Rainfall in many areas to last for 2 more days. The Health Ministry reiterates that inferior medicine has not been provided to hospitals. Raids to apprehend the selling of kiri samba above the controlled price in Peta. 2 projects valued at 70 million rupees have been vested with the people in Sengaladi Batiklo. 8 persons are killed in road accidents in Sri Lanka every day. India on a solar expedition.
On to those and other stories in detail now. The Department of Meteorology predicts that the rainy weather condition prevailing in several areas of the island will remain for the next 2 days as well.
Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organization has issued earth slip warnings in several areas. Intermittent rainfall is possible in the provinces of Western Sabaragamuwa, Southern, Central and Northwestern in the next 24 hours. There is also a possibility of certain locations in the Western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and the Gol and Mathura districts receiving rainfall of around 100 millimeters. Thunder showers accompanied with lightning is also anticipated in the evenings or at night in the Northern and Uva provinces and also in the Vavuniya and Mullaitivu districts. The Meteorology Department report adds that fairly strong winds of 40 to 45 kilometers per hour could be experienced in the western slopes of the Central Highlands and also in the Western, Northwestern and Sabaragamuwa provinces. A strong wind that blew across Guinea-Gathena area has caused the falling of a tree on the Colombo-Hatton Main Road. Our correspondent says that the Guinea-Gathena police along with the residents have cleared the road for vehicle transport after removing the tree. A threat of falling trees and soil mounds on the main roads of Colombo-Hatton and Nuwara due to strong winds and rainfall has been highlighted. The police request motorists to remain vigilant. Engineers in charge of the Castle Ray and Mausakali reservoirs say that despite heavy rainfall, the reservoirs have not yet received an adequate quantity of water. The water capacity has gone down by 60%. The water of the 2 reservoirs are being used for power generation at the power stations in Canyon, Lakshapana, New Lakshapana. The prevailing torrential rains has increased the water level of the Ging River. The Sitinamulla Great Lake in Hambantota Beliata has passed the spill level today. The earth slip warnings has been issued by the National Building Research Organizations for many areas still remain valid.
The Chicken Meat Producers Association has agreed for the sale of a kilo of chicken with skin for the price of 1,250 rupees through super effect from today. An agreement has been made in this regard after a discussion between Minister Mahinda Amaravira and the association at the Ministry of Agriculture yesterday. All industrialists engaged in producing chicken as well as large-scale egg producers were present at the discussion. The minister has pointed out at this meeting that cabinet approval has been given for the import of a further 91 million eggs from India. Minister Mahinda Amaravira at a media briefing in Colombo today said if the price of chicken meat was not reduced, the government would be compelled to import chicken as well from India in order to protect the consumer. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that it has also been agreed upon to further reduce the price of maize based upon the relief extended for the importation of maize. The minister added that consolation is also being provided by taking into consideration the loss in dollar value and the declining bank interest rates. The minister further said that egg producers have also agreed to reduce egg prices after considering the price decreases in animal feed. A request has been made from the consumers to contact the Chicken Meat Producers Association through the telephone number 071-273-2679 in the event of any supermarket selling chicken above the stipulated price.
In the meantime, the Sri Lankan ancestry of new Singapore President Tharman Shanmugaratnam has been seen as an inspiration by Sri Lanka. Singaporeans have given Tharman Shanmugaratnam a resounding mandate to be Singapore's 9th president. The Elections Department of Singapore declared the 66-year-old economist as the winner over two rival candidates after securing 70.4% of votes. Tharman Shanmugaratnam has been a prominent figure in Singaporean politics, achieving several victories in parliamentary elections, including an impressive victory in the 2020 general election as a member of the People's Action Party. Shanmugaratnam, a long-time leader of the ruling People's Action Party, resigned from the government and the party ahead of the first contested presidential election in more than a decade. Addressing the media later, Tharman said he was humbled by the strong endorsement that Singaporeans have given to him. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri wished Shanmugaratnam on X on his election as President of Singapore. Sri Lankan Foreign Minister said that Mr. Shanmugaratnam's achievements and his Sri Lankan ancestry are indeed an inspiration.
The newly appointed United Nations resident representative, Marc-André Franche, has assured continuous support for Sri Lanka's development process.
He has expressed these sentiments at a meeting with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees yesterday.
He has commended Sri Lanka's economic recovery from an unprecedented crisis and assured continuous support for the development process. The UN envoy further said that Sri Lanka is heading back in the right direction, but cautioned that the next couple of years will be very difficult for not only Sri Lanka but most of the countries due to the global economic downturn. The Prime Minister said several steps have been taken to increase food production and ensure food security. He added that the government plans to diversify exports, as in the long run we have to not only be self-sufficient in food but also increase foreign exchange earnings through exports. The Prime Minister has also informed the UN envoy about the steps taken to solve the grievances of the people who suffered due to 3 decades of conflict. He pointed out that over 95% of the lands in North and East taken over during the conflict have been returned to the owners. Landmines were removed so that the farmers could cultivate their lands. LTTE detainees were released and fisheries livelihoods have returned to normalcy. Franche thanked Sri Lanka for the valuable services rendered by Sri Lankans who served in the UN system over the decades. The discussions also covered Sri Lanka's development programs related to sustainable development goals, green economy, social cohesion and social protection. A group of officials, including Prime Minister's Secretary Anura Dissanayake, have also participated in the discussion.
The Health Ministry reiterates that inferior drugs have not been provided to hospitals. This fact has been clarified at a media briefing held yesterday. Additional Secretary of Health Ministry Saman Ratnayake said that there is no need for the general public to have unnecessary fears over medicine. He said that the ministry is importing only drugs conforming to the standards. Some drugs are being imported on emergency purposes and others through Indian credit lines. All the drugs are registered drugs. He further said that when importing antibiotic drugs, they always inquire whether there are any allergic conditions related to such drugs.
antibiotics වලට සාමාන්‍ය ප්‍රතිජීවක ඖෂධ වලට අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම අහනවා අසාත්මිකතාවයක් තියෙනවද කියලා හිස්ටරි එක අහනකොට රෝගියාට බෙහෙත් දෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා අහනවා. ඉතින් සමහර අය තමන්ගේ අසාත්මිකතාවය දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකට ඒ වගේ දේවල් කලාතුරකින් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව පිළිබඳ
Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena has requested not to lose the confidence placed on the Health Department. He has stressed that they are always appeared on behalf of the patients. The Director General also said that they are hoping to purchase drugs for patients through external channels.
Doctors say that the main reason attributed to incurable state of brain damage is road accidents. These deadly clashes due to a momentary mistake deprive a person of his life or make a person permanently disabled.
Are you aware of the fact that road accidents in Sri Lanka cause deaths of at least 8 persons on a daily basis?
Traumatic brain injuries are very common in Sri Lanka. It's mostly related due to the road traffic accidents. Most of the road traffic accidents are preventable, and we should take all effort to prevent it. The main thing is to know your road rules and follow them. By doing so, you can prevent a lot of road traffic accident related injuries.
Also in Sri Lanka, around 60 road accidents are being reported in a day. In many of these accidents, damage to the brain has been recorded. Physicians say that most of these injuries can't be recovered and permanent. Have you also thought of the fact of economic damage caused to the victims due to losing jobs as a result of disabilities sustained in such accidents, and also of the economic losses to the country? It is not a difficult task to prevent the damages to the brain in accidents.
You need to wear your seat belts. Make sure that you will be wearing it, and also all the passengers in the rear seat, including your underage child, should be wearing an appropriate seat belt.
The most important fact is to ensure the safety of the persons while travelling in roads. Another most vital factor is the motorists obeying traffic laws and being more careful while driving.
Using of the helmet is mandatory for a cyclist and also people traveling the motorbikes. The rider should wear it, and also the rear passenger, if anybody, should wear a safety helmet too.
Vehicle passengers must wear seat belts and be free from consuming alcohol or narcotics. Those who feel sleepy should refrain from driving. Riders or motorcyclists should wear helmets.
A new concrete road erected in Rameshpuram in Batticaloa at a cost of 40 million rupees was vested with the general public yesterday. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena was present at the opening ceremony. A 1 kilometer roadway was developed with concrete carpeting. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that when funds are being allocated for State Minister Pillayan and for other state ministers, a new revival in the northern province would come into being. The minister has called upon all to disregard political parties and other differences based on race, creed and religion, and to join hands to develop the country.
මේ වැටිලා තියෙන රට දෙවත ගොඩ අරන් ආර්ථික නිදහස ඇති කර ගැනීම සඳහා දේශපාලන පක්ෂ පාට සහ ජාති ආගම් කුල බේද වලින් තොරව එකවන්නව කටයුතු කළා අපේ මාතෘ භූමිය ලෝකයේ දියුණු රටක් බවට පත් කරන්න එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්න කියන ආරාධනය මම කරනවා.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena has also declared open the new road signal system at Sengaladi in Batticaloa yesterday. A sum of 30 million rupees has been spent in this regard.
Malaysia celebrated its 66th National Day this week with of determination in unity, fulfilling hope, rallying Malaysians to strengthen the spirit of unity in facing various challenges together to achieve the shared aspirations for a stronger and more successful Malaysia.
With that, we would now like to invite our occasion today will further strengthen Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa.
Currently, Malaysia is one of the top countries in emerging Southeast Asia for foreign investment and the second most competitive country in ASEAN. It is also the third most innovative upper middle income economy in the world and fourth most competitive emerging market. Malaysia and Madani were celebrating in Sri Lanka, highlighting the long-standing relations between the two nations. A ceremony was held on Thursday to mark the National Day under the patronage of Malaysian High Commission in Sri Lanka.
Shaped by maritime trade, cultural exchanges and shared influences. Both Sri Lanka and Malaysia were pivotal points along the ancient maritime trade routes that connected the East with the West. Trade and investments have been a cornerstone of our bilateral ties. Both Sri Lanka and Malaysia have benefited from the exchange of goods and services, contributing to the economic prosperity of our nations. As we move forward, it is crucial to recognize the potential for further collaboration in areas such as technology. People-to-people connectivity between our countries is important, and education is another area where our cooperation has flourished. Many students from Sri Lanka have pursued their higher education in Malaysia, vice versa. Tourism too holds immense promise for our relations. Both Sri Lanka and represent unique landscape, historical sites and vibrant cultures that can attract travelers from around the world. By promoting joint tourism initiatives, we can show the best of our countries to a global audience.
We'll be back with more local stories after a break.
நாங்க சீக்கிரமா வங்கிக்கு போவோமா? அப்பா வெஸ்டர்ன் யூனியன்ல பணத்தை அனுப்பி இருக்காரு.
அம்மாட கணக்கு இருப்பது மக்கள் வங்கியிலனால வங்கிக்கு போக தேவையில்லை. ஒரு கோல்லே வேலையை முடிக்கலாமே.
வெளிநாட்டில் இருந்து வெஸ்டர்ன் யூனியன் ஊடாக அனுப்பும் பணம் இப்போது மக்கள் வங்கியின் கால் மற்றும் டிபாசிட் சேவை ஊடாக ஒரு அழைப்பின் மூலம் உங்கள் மக்கள் வங்கி கணக்கிற்கு வாட்ஸ்அப் மற்றும் வைபர் ஊடாக தொடர்பு கொள்ளலாம். மக்கள் வங்கியில் மட்டுமே.
Welcome back. We move on with more local stories. The SLRC correspondent says a group of wild elephants are roaming in Melchiripura.
Operations were conducted throughout the night to chase away the herd of these wild beasts. Wildlife officials of Herathgama and Kurunegala were compelled to temporarily suspend vehicle transport on the Kurunegala-Damulla main road with the assistance of the Gokralla police station officials in order to facilitate the process of directing the wild elephants to the Pallakale area. Storming of wild elephants to Madirigiriya in Polonnaruwa has become a common sight as the beasts are finding it difficult to procure food and water due to the dry weather condition prevailing in the area.
State Minister Sanath Nishanta says the government has given prominence to community water projects. He made these remarks at a media briefing titled Collective Path to a Stable Country held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday. State Minister Sanath Nishanta highlights progress and challenges in Sri Lanka's water supply development. The State Minister points out that taken to meet 62% of the drinking water requirements, aiming for 85% coverage in the near future. Addressing a media conference at the Presidential Media Centre, State Minister for Water Supply has also provided an update on the progress and challenges faced in meeting the water supply needs in Sri Lanka's population. Acknowledging the economic difficulties faced by the country, State Minister Nishanta has emphasized the importance of using water sparingly. Efforts are also underway to construct salt barriers to prevent salt water intrusion into rivers due to tidal conditions. Salt barriers have been completed for Ginganga, Nilvala Ganga and Maoya, while construction has commenced for Kalu and Kalani rivers utilizing technology from the Netherlands. He further said that the government has also taken steps to provide affordable water supply to urban slum dwellings with a unit of 1,000 litres previously priced to 60 rupees. Considering the production cost alone, the value is approximately 86 rupees. The State Minister added that, however, when factoring in the debt burden of the Water Supply Board, the cost rises to 134 rupees. Despite this, the board is currently providing a unit of water for 116 rupees.
In the meantime, the 72nd annual conference of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will be held at a private hotel in Sri Jayawardhanapura Hospital Road tomorrow. Leader of the party, Maithripala Sirisena, said at a media briefing today that all arrangements are being made to conduct the event with gallantry through the participation of people representing all provinces of the island. Former President Maithripala Sirisena said that they are hoping to conduct the anniversary celebrations with pride and courage. People from all parts of the island, including the north and east, will attend tomorrow's conference. He also said that out of all political parties in Sri Lanka today, only the SLFP is mainly equipped with local thinking. 72 years is a long history for a political party, and the SLFP is a reputed political body which had accomplished a significant amount of work. The SLFP leader has also extended an invitation to the comrade political parties to attend tomorrow's event. He added that they are one, acting in a manner to face any future election.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the Treasury always gives priority for health expenditures. He was responding to a query raised by a media person in Nelumdenia. The State Minister said that the Treasury always gives prominent attention to the health sector. He has recalled how funds slashed from other ministries on 2 occasions through the 2023 budget was redirected for the Health Ministry. He also said the most important issues that need attention today are the health, education and welfare sectors. In the meantime, State Minister of Finance Shahan Sevasinghe says Sri Lanka is moving towards a speedy economic stability. The State Minister has made these observations at a discussion with a group of Japanese senators headed by Nakanishi Yusukai at the Finance Ministry yesterday. The State Minister has enlightened the delegation on Sri Lanka's economic situation and the debt restructuring program. He further said that people's confidence is building on the government's vision of not having a recurrence of an economic collapse. The minister further said that this has been made possible due to the assistance being received from the international community. Senator Nakanishi Yusukai has assured that Japan will continue to extend its vibrant support for the restoration of the Sri Lankan economy. Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideaki, was also present at the discussion. A discussion was held with Ali Hashim, Governor of the Maldives Financial Authority, at the Ministry of Finance. The State Minister of Finance has pointed out that due to the international support received for Sri Lankan's economic recovery and how the government was able to take steps to achieve positive economic stabilization for the people in the country. Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Mahinda Siriwardana, and other officials have also participated in the talks. We now move on to some local news in brief. The national television reporter says certain groups are causing damages to the Buddha statues and statues of deities and jewelry brought by devotees to the historic Kabileta Devalaya. They add that the wanton destruction has created a serious environmental pollution as well. Members of the Army sub-unit providing security for the area owned by the Department of Wildlife say they are taking strenuous efforts to protect the sacred premises. A suspect along with a motorcycle used in a shooting incident in Karandenia recently have been arrested in Dematagahakanda in Karandenia based on a tip-off received by the Special Task Force. Newly appointed Vice-Chancellor of the General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University, Rear Admiral Dhammika Kumara, has assumed duties in the new post yesterday. Rear Admiral Dhammika Kumara has earlier been functioning as Commander of the Eastern Naval Command. Funeral of Manala Beratna, who has functioned as a director of the Government Information from 1982 to 1988, was held at the General Cemetery, Borala, this evening. She was an official of the Sri Lanka Administrative Service and responsible for the introduction of a media identity card for the protection of media personnel. A father and daughter was killed when a lorry loaded with chickens clashed with a motorcycle at Heda Bandaragama on the Kuliapitia Madampe main road. The police have arrested the driver of the lorry after controlling an uproar of the residents of the area that has arisen after the accident. Industry 2023 Jaffna Edition North Central Industrial Exhibition is being conducted for the second day today. The exhibition with 300 stalls is held at the Jaffna Cultural Centre. Today's exhibition was conducted with the participation of State Ministers Prasanna Ranavira and Chamara Sampath Dasanayaka. The exhibition ends tomorrow. A raid has been conducted to apprehend shops in Petta selling kiri samba rice at high prices and hoarding stocks. The Consumer Affairs Authority has taken legal action against certain errant businesses in this connection in Petta today.
The Vidyodaya Literary Awards Festival, organized by the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences of the Sri Jayawardhanapura University, was held at the Sumangal Hall of the university yesterday. Awards presentation has been conducted under 5 categories. W. Ranjit Dharmakirti has received the award for the most excellent literary work for the book titled Colour and Signal Communication. The award for the best column reporting was handed over to Bandula P. Dayaratna, who had compiled the document of letters named Thomson Mahatmya. The award for the best poetic work of the year was presented to Lakshanta Atukorale for his work titled Hangum Gangehi Hangila. Virajini Tennakon has received the award for the most excellent short story of the year for her book Andaya Saha Suruttu Nyaya. Manohari Jayalath, who has authored the work titled Girija, has received the award for the best novel of the year. The awards presentation is a concept of acclaimed Professor Sunil Aryaratna. A large gathering, including university students, were present on this occasion.
நான் பேங்க் போயிட்டு வரேன். இப்ப full freedom உடன் சிங் என்று பேங்கிங் செய்ய உங்க லைஃபுக்கு செட் ஆகுற நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜென் இன் டிஜிட்டல் பேங்கிங் பார்ட்னர் பீப்பிள்ஸ் பேங்க்.
Welcome back, and on foreign news, Aditya L1 is India's maiden solar mission and follows soon after its successful uncrewed lunar landing.
India has been pushing hard to increase its footprint in space in the recent years. Aditya L1 lifted off from the launch pad at Sriharikota today at 11:50 am India time. It will travel 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth. India's space agency says it will take 4 months to travel that far. India's first space-based mission to study the solar system's biggest object is named after Surya, the Hindu god of sun, who is also known as Aditya. And L1 stands for Lagrange Point 1, the exact place between Sun and Earth, while the Indian spacecraft is heading. According to the European Space Agency, a Lagrange point is a spot where the gravitational forces of two large objects such as the Sun and the Earth cancel each other out.
And on sports news for tonight, a match between India and Pakistan in the Asian Cup cricket tournament is now being played at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. The Indian team batting first were all out for 266 runs in 48 overs and 5 deliveries.
India and Pakistan are competing in a one-day international for the first time after the 2019 World Cup tournament. The Indian team, after winning the toss, has decided to bat first, and the innings were opened by captain Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. Rohit Sharma was out for 11 runs when the score was at 15. The second wicket also fell when Virat Kohli was out for 4 runs and Shreyas Iyer 14. However, Ishan Kishan and Karthik Pandya have been successful in maintaining a 138 partnership for the 5th wicket. Ishan Kishan has scored 82 runs.
Have been played here. Another one. Haris Rao this time. Good placement. Here's this noise. Oh, what a shot that is.
Sri Lanka and Bangladesh teams have arrived in Pakistan yesterday to compete in Asia Cricket Cup tournament matches to be played in Pakistan. The Sri Lanka team will encounter Afghanistan on the 5th of this month at the Lahore Cricket Stadium. Bangladesh will also face Afghanistan as their second match of the tournament. This match will also be played at the Lahore Cricket Stadium tomorrow.
And that's all the news for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.